welcome to session 5 of Unit 1. And in this session, we are going to look at effective relationship with students. My name is Patrick Ejay. Now, by the end of this session, you should be able to explain how effective teachers perceive their students, indicate how effective teachers also see themselves, and identify what elements instructional theory incorporate individually and into the situation in the science classroom. So let's look at effective relationships with students. And here, the relationship is between the teacher and the student. And for several years, several researchers have been investigating the characteristics of effective helping relationships, including that of teaching, because teaching also involves helping the learner to understand concepts. And their research indicates that a teacher's perceptions of self, teacher's perception about students, their perception about the teaching task are all critical to effective instruction. In other words, for instruction to be effective, then it depends on the teacher's perception about his own self, his perception about his students, as well as his perceptions about the teaching task. And for effective teachers, they are those who perceive their students as they are able, they perceive their students to be friendly, they perceive their learners to be worthy, intrinsically motivated, dependable, and helpful. And so this is how effective teachers see their learners. They see their learners as their friends who are worthy, who intrinsically they are motivated to learn. They can depend on them. So all that the teacher must do is to provide a helping hand to such learners in order for them to reach their fullest potential. And in the same manner, effective teachers also see themselves as good teachers who are needed, who are trustworthy, and who can relate well to other people. So in as much as the effective teacher perceives his or her learners to be able to be worthy, his learners to be intrinsically motivated, such a teacher also sees himself or herself as someone who is good, as someone who is needed, someone who can be trusted, and someone who also has good relationship with colleague teachers as well as students. And better teachers see themselves assisting and facilitating rather than coercing and controlling. So an effective teacher is the one who will assist learners, who will facilitate learning in the classroom. An effective teacher is not the one who will be coercing or forcing learners to, learn things in the classroom. And they are also teachers who identify with larger issues and personally involved with issues, problems, and other people. And they view the whole process of education as important. So this is how effective teachers also see themselves. And in addition, they tend to be altruistic and self-revealing. They tend not to be selfish. They tend to be individuals who are ever ready to provide a helping hand. Individuals who have the tendency to help others. And effective teachers also see their task as helping people rather than dealing with objects. Now remember that they perceive their learners to be worthy. And if you perceive your learners to be worthy, then such a person must understand that he or she is not dealing with objects, but rather he is dealing with human beings. And they try to understand the perceptions and backgrounds of their students. So for an effective teacher, he will always put himself or herself in the shoes of the learner, the home background of the learner, the economic status of the learner, the mental level, the maturity level of the learner, in order to get a better understanding of the learners that he or she encounters in the classroom situation. Now, what are the students' perceptions about an effective teacher? To the students, who do students see as an effective teacher? Baby conducted a research on the perceptions of the ideal science, and the findings of his research was that an effective teacher, according to the students, are those who have adequate personal relations with students, and they are those who also have the enthusiasm in working with them consistently. So, to learners, out of the research conducted by Roger Bybee, learners perceive an effective teacher as one who has good personal relations with the learners. It means such a teacher is friendly, easy to go, he is welcoming. This is the kind of teacher learners perceive as an effective teacher. And such a person is also enthusiastic in working with them consistently. So anytime they come to such a teacher, the teacher is ever ready to provide them with the necessary help that they need. And although this research indicates that personal qualities are also perceived as important dimensions of instruction, so qualities such as your knowledge about the subject matter, your personal relations with other colleagues, how you plan, your enthusiasm, and methods of teaching are all important for effective science teaching. And for that reason, every instructional theory should incorporate these elements, adapt them individually into the classroom situation and in the teaching and learning of science. Now, students, in this session, we looked at effective relationship with students, and we saw how effective teachers perceive their students as well as how they see themselves. Now, as we bring the session to an end, we saw in our presentation or this session that Roger Bybee conducted a research on the perceptions of the ideal science teacher. What were the results of the research? Let's find answer to this question and present our answer in the next session. I hope you enjoyed this session.